We were expecting fireworks, we were expecting theater, we were expecting Nigerian drama, and we got, okay, y'all can get married? Get the... Hi, I'm Danny. Welcome to my dark desk. Grab a sippy sippy, a puffy puffy, because we're here to talk about 90 Day Fiancé, Season 12, Episode 10. I'm questioning everything. So we're going to talk about two couples in this video. First couple we're going to discuss is Catie and Josh. Catie is meeting up with Ryan in the park for a run. This is real awkward. Like, this whole, her doing her stretching was really awkward, and you know what, I should even judge. She's ran more marathons than I have, so she stretches is how she stretches. But anyhow, in an interview, Catie says that she thinks Josh is reaching a breaking point given her behavior, and I believe that this is the same day after the party that we're seeing this, which is interesting. So she got, I'll give her credit, she got drunky like a skunky. She was in the bathroom regurgitating and all the things, and she still got up and did a run. That's kudos for Catie. Catie has good discipline. As they start to run, she's a funny ass. They start to jog, and Ryan says he's worried about her relationship to alcohol, and that gave Ryan a bonus point, because I'm glad somebody is saying it to her. I don't think I've ever heard Josh say it to her, and Catie low-key, high-key agrees with him. Wrong. I was wrong on that. She actually did not agree. In the interview, Ryan thinks that Josh is okay with them. They're going to be cordial moving forward. So he doesn't foresee an issue with his friendship with Catie. I mean, honestly, I didn't think he was going to cut Catie off regardless of what Josh says, because Ryan strikes me as a little bit of a chaos demon. But anyhow, they finally sit down to talk, and Catie describes to Ryan that Josh kept saying that he was disappointed in her behavior. She's worried that she's never going to change and that she's going to ruin her life. Ryan says, you always say this. Every time something bad happens, you say this constantly. And so she asked him, why do you think he keeps forgiving you? And Catie says, well, I think he thinks long term we're a good match, which is interesting that he would think that given her behavior right now. How long have they been together? And she's been like this the entire time. I don't see how he would think that this is a long-term good arrangement for him. But again, we believe that Josh is a cuck. Something about him, he enjoys that shit. Because how many times does somebody have to sun you to your face? Anyhow, Catie says she also knows that he is overlooking her behavior right now. I guess in the hopes of getting to that long-term goal where they're a good match. In the interview, Catie says that she believes one day Josh will stop forgiving her. And that scares her. She thinks about it all the time. But her OCD is preventing her from making steps to change. That's all well and good, but baby, are you seeing a therapist? Are you seeing the lady? Are you taking medication? What are you doing to mitigate your OCD? She could stop drinking, especially if people are saying it's a concern. Ryan says what would happen if Josh stopped forgiving her, and Catie says she'd be brokenhearted, she'd be devastated, but part of her thinks that she should be living an adventurous life, and she kind of oscillates between wanting Josh and wanting to be free and do all this wild shit. And Ryan says, do you think you should be married feeling this way? So she doesn't think that they should get married right now, but she wants their life together to start. So why don't you just go back to England? Why doesn't Catie live with Josh in England if she's not ready to get married? Why don't they move to a different place where they don't have to get married and they just live together and figure it out together? So in her interview, she says she's confused. She's very worried about them being miserable in a marriage and not having their needs met. I don't think she's worried about the both of them having their needs met. I think she's worried about her needs for attention and passionate sex and passion and adventure to be fulfilled. Like, she's worried about that. That's why she keeps doing this shit. She's intentionally self-sabotaging. And I guess, yes, she has OCD, but I don't know. Catie's on some bullshit. Just stop drinking and see what happens. I don't know what to tell you. The next couple we're going to talk about is Paula and Thomas. We pick up where we left off. They are in North Carolina with Thomas's dad and stepmother. His dad's name is Tom, and the stepmother's name is Renee. Paula and Thomas are in the camper. They're preparing to have the conversation with Thomas's parents, asking them to come to the wedding. And Paula prepared a little tiny suitcase with just an invitation and a well-written note. So it's really sweet. I love Paula. Paula's a sweetheart. Next scene, Tom is outside with his dad Tom and Renee, and they're pretty much waiting for Paula to come out. Paula is doing a little mini interview while she's putting on mascara, saying that she's really nervous to have this conversation. She doesn't know where it's gonna go given how bad it went the last time. She comes out of the camper, and Renee of course has to make some fucking comment saying, oh, you're dressed like that to see the sheep? Like, ugh, shut up. They made her vegan burgers, and they all sit down. Thomas and Paula are on the back of a pickup truck. Rini and Tom, the dad, are sitting at the table. Paula takes a bite of the burger and she's like, ooh, boom. Rini asks Paula about her family, who's in her family. Paula tells her that it's her mom, father, brother, and sister, and her, and she's hoping that they show up. And Thomas gives a little story how Paula orders little miniature figures and she's using that to manifest her family being able to come to the wedding. So they talk about her manifestation and the tiny stuff. Paula uses that as a means to bring out the little gift that she has for them, the little invitation with the little card, the little suitcase, hoping that they'll travel to California to spend time with them. And Rini says she likes tiny little things, and Paula shows a little figure of a pig and Rini's aghast. She's like, oh, a little piggy, look at his pig snap. She's really this is the happiest I've seen this fucking woman. So they really do have something in common, which is very fucking nice. So she kept saying, thank you so much, thank you so much. She really seems to like it. So Rini asks, oh, tell us about what's gonna happen for the wedding. Thomas says that it's gonna be in Long Beach, and the dad says, so who's going? Thomas names a few people, and then he says, I invited my mom and my stepdad. And in the interview, the dad says Thomas was 9 years old and Thomas's little sister was 6 when him and their mom got divorced, and she didn't take custody of the kids, which is really unusual, and he had to be strong and his kids had to be strong. What it sounded like to me is that Thomas was pissed off that he had to take care of his kids. He seemed annoyed, like, oh, his mom wasn't in his life at all, and it's me and Rini who is his actual family, not his mother. And he says that he'll never speak to Thomas's mother again. That's all well and good and all, sir, but it's not about you, it's about your son. And if you really give a fuck, like, you're his family, you show up for his family. So don't brag about being a great dad and doing all the things and being responsible for the kids you made when you don't even want to fucking be there for his wedding. Be there for your goddamn son. Anyhow, so Paula persists and asks if they're gonna make it. Thomas says, I'll do my best. Rini already says, nope, I don't know if our farmhand's gonna be available to watch the farm, and I gotta make sure the animals and my farm is okay. And I'm like, bitch, do you even know the date to say that? Like, you don't even have to speak to them. 30 fucking people is enough to avoid the bitch. You don't even have to look at her. Pretend and play her dust. Be there for your son. In her interview, Paula says none of this makes sense and it makes her sad. Tom, the dad, says Paula wants everybody together and she wants it a certain way, but it's not like that, so she needs to stop. Ooh, I don't like them. I don't like the dad. The dad wants extra credit for being a father. Anyway, the couple we're here to talk about is Ashia and Maxwell. We're back at the Airbnb. Maxwell's mom is telling Blaze, Maxwell's sister, about Ashia's age. But she asks Blaze, do you know how old Ashia is? And Blaze is like, and Maria says 38. Blaze says, eh? They're so dramatic. Ashia's mom, Juliet, is in the corner super quiet, not saying anything. In the interview, Ashia is preparing to tell the family about their news about getting married that week. So Maxwell and Ashia come in, and Maxwell says to his family, we are gonna get married this week and we're going to do the spousal visa. And Juliet just point blank asks Maria if she's disappointed, and I can't remember Maria's answer. I'm pretty sure it was like, this is not what she wanted to hear. Blaze confronts Ashia about her age, and Ashia's kind of scary because the entire time while she's upset, she kept it calm, cool, and collected. She was completely unfazed, unemotional. And I guess that comes from the arrogance of believing God is always on your corner, that you are the best Christian since sliced bread. The way she was unfazed kind of freaked me out. Blaze confronts her. She says she really likes Ashia as a woman, but she doesn't like the age difference. She doesn't approve because she doesn't believe that an older woman would submit to a younger man. Ashia, in her interview, is so arrogant. She's like, I don't give a what the family, she didn't say that, but she's like, I don't care what the family thinks because their union is God ordained. You know, when they were bringing up Ashia's age, they're like, oh, Maxwell was kind of coming at them like, oh, you're gossiping about us, what are you talking about? And even now he stands 10 toes down and says, you don't approve of her because of her age. And Clement, Maxwell's dad, says he doesn't like the age difference as well. So Maxwell's whole family is not about this whole age difference thing, and Ashia's like, you shouldn't judge me on my age. You should judge me on who I am, how I present in this world as a person, as a child of God, I guess. Blaze asks, how long will it be before you guys get married, before you have kids? And Ashia says, well, you know, it's gonna take a year or two. He's gonna have to like get situated in America and he's gonna have to get a job. Blaze is like, that's a long time for him to wait to have kids. Ashia asks Blaze, who invented time? Blaze immediately says God. Ashia's like, yes, that's right, God's in charge of everything. He will bring us a child when he wants us to have a child. And she says, in America, there are so many ways to have a child. There's freezing eggs, there's surrogacy. Blaze also says that she's worried about how Ashia's going to treat her brother in America. And Juliet intervenes and says, you shouldn't worry about that. Maxwell's a grown man. He's in charge of himself. He can handle himself. And Maxwell says, he backs Ashia up every single time. Maxwell says, I'm not looking for a wife, I'm looking for a partner. And the attributes I see in Ashia are the things that I want in a partner. But Maxwell's dad relents and says, you know, marriage is God ordained and it's a part of the kingdom of heaven. She manipulated the family by using their faith. Ashia is mad manipulative. Can we just call a thing a thing? So the family gives her approval. And Ashia makes them join hands in prayer and they do the whole tongue thing. And the whole time she looks so slick. I mean, she cried at the end of her prayer, but like, Ashia is a scammer. You know, her and Maxwell deserve each other. I'm low-key worried for Maxwell because when she isolates him from his family, I feel like it's gonna be a Michael situation, an Angela and Michael situation, only without the racism. I have a feeling Maxwell's gonna take off running eventually. I don't see, once he gets to America, them lasting long, but that's my opinion. Because Ashia's on some fool-la-la. There's something very slick and evil about her eyes. I don't know what it is. She's not as evil as me though. Don't get me twisted, but there's something off about Ashia. But anywho, that is my recap. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hype, do as you deem fit. Keep your sippy sippies, your puffy puffies close, but your instincts even closer. And I'll be sure to catch you on the flips. Bye. As somebody who's completely antisocial, when I ask who's coming, that means I'm not gonna go. If I need to know who else is gonna be there, I have already decided that I don't want to go and I just need a good reason. I need an excuse not to have to see somebody.